Dancing Tom's back. Oh, the relief. The relief. Yes. Come on. Love that. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Oh, the pain of trying to get that victory at the end. Arsenal really do like to keep you on your tenterhooks at the end of the game. 1-0 to the Arsenal at Brighton. First time we've beaten Brighton in 6 attempts. Mastered by Mikel Arteta. Fantastic stuff. Great substitution. Great tactics. Great everything. Great stuff that we're going to chat about right now. Hello and welcome to the Gonna Talk, back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our TGT Raw Reaction series, in which we react to the latest Arsenal news and fixtures, which we are doing right now after Arsenal have won 1-0 at Brighton at the Amex Stadium, which is a sentence which has felt like it's been years since I have said those words. Win against Brighton. Not only are we beating Chelsea, people, but we're rocking up against Brighton as well as we push ourselves to the mighty heights of 13th in the Premier League table. Fantastic stuff from Arsenal in the second half. First half, a little bit questionable, not going to lie, a little bit questionable in the first half. We will talk about that. We're going to talk about everything else and get your thoughts in the comment section, and of course our live chat too. So make sure that you are throwing in those comments into the live chat. If you didn't check us out already early on today, I was on myself with Hugh Wizzy on his channel earlier doing the watch along. So if you want to see our live reaction to the goal, you can see that on Hugh Wizzy's channel. Make sure you check it out, give it a like, give it a subscription. But keep your eyes peeled here going forwards as we talk to you guys in the chat box after Arsenal's 1-0 victory against Brighton. Zed Tom says the trouble is on, Tom. Tang Wang says Basuma looked better than El Neni. It does not take too much for that to happen. Javier says there isn't any world-class striker to be bought. You hope Alba rediscovers form, but at the moment being, we need points and we can't risk starting an out-of-form Aubameyang. Dubo20 says Laca should play until he shows he needs to be dropped. Aubameyang needs to earn his spot back. Laca just links the play much better. JD says Aubameyang looking like he don't care anymore. To be honest, how can you blame him when you've got Sideways and Granite Stone in our midfield? I mean, Granit Xhaka was again very good today, so I'm not sure that criticisms of Granit Xhaka are I don't know what they're for at all. Matt Thornton says Holding and Pablo Mari were solid. Honestly, how long has it taken to finally see Rob Holding get the just he's waited so long to get this credit that he deserves. What is he, the Preston Cannavaro? Is that what we're calling him? Honestly, man. Honestly, he has deserved this. He has deserved this. Whoa, so many compliments coming his way. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. Matt says, anyone else really like the 90-minute Basuma edition? Sign him up. Yeah, Basuma was easily the best man for Brighton in this evening's match by far. Gary Mullen says, can you imagine Basuma and Partey together? Jeez! Balaji says, it was a tale of two halves. First half, Brighton Hove Albion was over us. To be honest, Brighton Hove Albion were better than us in the first half. But I wouldn't say that they were amazing. I wouldn't say that they were far and away the better side. I thought both teams were pretty bad in the first 45 minutes, to be honest. The game was passive, it was boring. Me and Hugh were kind of struggling for some stuff to talk about, to be honest, in the first half. But second half, we came alive, came out of new purpose, came out clearly with a kick up the backside from Arteta, and that is ultimately what made the difference. Thomas Lear with a comment in the chat box saying, Basuma looks so similar to Partey. He would be really good backup, and even playing with Partey next to him would be a solid spine in the team that we definitely need. Ronk says, now is the ideal time to sell Laca. Get in the bin, Ronk. Get in the bin. Tang Vang says Xhaka was good. Let's be honest. Exactly. He was good. And if you can't see that he was good, it's because you're personal. It's because you got a personal agenda against the guy. That is the only reason. The only reason. Daniel Roberts says, I love Martinelli's pressing. Who doesn't love Martinelli's pressing is the question. The British Cannavaro. Oh, yeah, but I mean, I thought he was from Preston for some reason. Did a thing that says, I'm not sure about Xhaka being very good today. He wasn't bad, but I thought he was still a bit of a sluggish on the... I mean, if you're thinking he's sluggish on the ball, that is Granit Xhaka. Like, it's like saying, oh, I thought Per Mertesacker was a bit slow today. They're slow players. You need to look beyond that. Just because a player is fast, it's not FIFA. It's not because a player's got 90 pace doesn't make them good. Trust me, I've got plenty of 90 pace players that are terrible. What I'm saying is you need to look beyond the fact that he's slow, because that is a characteristic of Xhaka. You can't just go for every game saying, oh, he's slow. He's slow. I know he's slow. He had a good performance because he did everything that he does do well. He tackled well. He passed well. He came out from the back well. He dealt with the situation when he was on the ball well. This was a good game from Granit Xhaka. You need to look past the fact that he's not the quickest guy in the world sometimes. Saeed says Tierney could have bagged a lot of assists with the quality of his crossing. By the way, happy with the dub. Absolutely massive dub. Just That Chemical X says, Joan would be Xhaka's replacement, more athletic. Imagine him rolling through the midfield. Partey sweeping up, Buendia slipping through Martinelli. Goal, inject it into my veins. Yeah, if we can get deals for those guys done in January, huge. Absolutely massive. Jacob Zabo says Xhaka was all right. I hate how he often slows down the play. We need a midfielder that breaks the lines. He's not going to be the guy that speeds the play up from that position. That's just not what he is. Like it's like criticising a fish for not being able to fly. Like that's just ultimately what it is. Like Ife says, imagine adding Brandt and Bissouma next month. We'll have arguably the best pressing and press-resistant midfield in the league. Glenn Cook says, was anyone annoyed as I was with Aubameyang? Majority of the game looked lethargic and spotting with his pressing. Yeah, unreal, really. I really struggled with Aubameyang in the first half. I was kind of calling him for him to be subbed off at half-time because he was just so passive, so passive. And when the chance did fall to him, he fluffed his lines and hit it straight at Sanchez. And then he had another opportunity, which he hit wide when he had an opportunity to play Emile Smith-Rowe on the right-hand side. He was completely free. It's just frustrating. It's just really frustrating to see Aubameyang. And the thing is, no fish can fly. Find me a fish that can, and I mean fly. I don't mean jump out the water and fall. I mean fly. Full on fly. You will not find one. You can get flying fish, like you can get free transfers. They're not necessarily free, and fish can't fly. I'm not having it. I'm sorry. I'm not having it. Ian R says, watch along with Hugh every time. I mean, two times been on with Hugh, 2 wins. What more can we say other than that? 9 points off second, says... I mean, when you think about that for a second, 9 points off second place. That is this season. It's been a crazy season. It's been crazy for everyone, arguably worse for us. But we're starting to turn things round. Unbelievable stuff. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. Manveer says, it's amazing how kids are actually inspiring the senior players of the team. Aubameyang was passive, but seems like he is still a little underconfident in front of goal. Maybe he needs a goal or 2 more. John G says gliding fish. Listen, we're not getting into the discussion about fish. We're not. I'm sorry. It's not happening. We're not getting into my British ways of talking about fish and chips. We're not having it. Peter Redder says, Tom, is it about time the FA sorted the refs in this country? Meant to be one of, if not the best league in the world. Oh, how bad was Martin Atkinson today? Missing fouls, missing yellow cards, missing just missing corners that were clearly a goal kick and giving corners for them right at the end, putting us under pressure. He was horrific. Horrific as a ref. And I'm not the type, like people who watch the show week in, week out, I am not the type to go on big rants about referees. But Martin Atkinson today was dreadful. Chris Smith says, enjoyed the watch along. Very positive conversation and refreshing to not hear. Smash the likes every 2 bloody seconds. Ed Welch says, Aubameyang, by the way, smash the like button. Aubameyang lacked press, finishing hold-up play and the movement today. Lacazette has to start next to Saka and Martinelli. Michael Velasquez says, what do you think is going on with Aubameyang? He can't seem to get back into his goal-scoring ways. He's just out of form. He is out of form. I've said it. The contract was a mistake. I thought it wasn't. I think a lot of us did. The contract is clearly a problem. No, I don't think the contract is the reason why he's having bad form. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that signing him on for another 2 years on a massive pay rise when we're going to get the worst from Aubameyang during his years from 31 to 33 is just not. Really isn't. Ronnie says, Fisher needs to drink Red Bull to get wings and fly. Oh, dearie me. Omar says, I would sell him in the summer. I mean, wow, that is... I mean, I don't know who's going to buy Aubameyang at 32 years of age when he gets there in the summer, but... madness. Martino says, really enjoyed the watch along. Great mixture of emotion from Hugh and professionalism from Tom. Yeah, I can't change the way I am. I come on here and I'm crazy because I can be the host. I can't do that on the watch along. It's Hugh's show. He's the star of the thing. I just give my insight. That's how it works. Sanyik says, how good was Emile Smith-Rowe? I think he was brilliant defensively as well. Do we need Brandt anymore? Yes, let's not go too far. Emile Smith-Rowe was great. I still thought in the first half he was a little bit off the pace, as was the whole team. But we still need to add in that area. We need to get over this whole kind of loyal, really attachment, worried about the roots of certain players. Just because Saliba's not getting minutes doesn't mean we shouldn't go out and sign a Canate, shouldn't go out and sign a better right-sided centre-back. You shouldn't think that way. If there's the opportunity to upgrade and get a impactful senior figure into the club, you do it. If it improves the team, you do it. If it upgrades on what you got, you do it. You can't get stuck thinking, oh no, what might happen to Emile Smith-Rowe if we go and buy this guy? Because what happens if Emile Smith-Rowe gets injured? One, we're ruined. We haven't got any players. And what if actually Emile Smith-Rowe doesn't work out and you've not gone for that player in the first place? If it doesn't work out with the guy that you've signed, then at least you've still got Emile Smith-Rowe there. I think that's the important point that you need to think about. Menvir says, do you think we can still start Martinelli, Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka in a third game in a row? How important is it to rest it? Well, if we play the next game, I'm worried. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the COVID situation. I'm concerned about the cases that are rising. I'm concerned. There's rumours flying around about possibly a 2-week break from Premier League matches. I don't know if that will happen or not. It would cause chaos with fixture congestion, and especially when there's European Championships to play in the summer, I'm not sure how that would affect things. So... who knows? Chris P, thank you for the massive donation, mate. He says, otherwise engaged, pun intended. So just dropping in to give you a bottle of bubbly. No arguments. Enjoy it and congratulations again, buddy. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. As I said on Twitter, you didn't need to, but I appreciate it and we will enjoy that. So thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate that. Nate says, a 19-year-old Martinelli is shouting at Aubameyang to press. I mean, come on. He is supposed to be our captain. He clearly has that kind of leadership authorities, and when you see him actually shouting at Aubameyang to do pressing, that tells you the mindset of the players that we've got at the club. Aubameyang needs to press. He's not going to. I can sit here every single week and turn to you and be like, Aubameyang needs to press. But he's not going to. That's not the player that he is. It's not the player that he is. You're not going to get an apology from Granit Xhaka. It's not the type of person that he is. Aubameyang's not going to press. It's just not going to happen. Apparently the Spurs-Fulham game is definitely now cancelled. I know it was in danger of being postponed, but whether it's actually been fully cancelled, I'm not 100% sure as of yet. Just like Chemical X says, Daniel Robert wiped his smirk right off his face. Yeah. Sam Jester says, who has the highest ceiling out of our youngsters? It's a good question. You'd have to probably say Martinelli or Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe, maybe. What about, I don't know, Saliba? They're all great. I mean, why do we have to pick one? I think they're all fantastic. Toby says, about Marie, Tom, does he start when Gabriel comes back? It's a good question. I mean, if he keeps up playing well now, do you start Gabriel? I think with the amount of fixtures that we've got, by the time Gabriel is fit, he will need to be rotated. So I don't think that's too much of a problem. Can you play 2 left-footed centre-backs? I don't think Rob Holding's done anything wrong to put him outside the team, to be honest. I don't think Rob Holding should be going anywhere. If we sign a right-sided centre-back in January that's top class, great. We love that fact. But Holding deserves to be in this team. Holding has been good this season. I don't care what anyone says. He had one bad game, which was against Villa. And the mistakes that he has made, or you can call them mistakes, but he's been exposed so many times because of Hector Bellerin going walkies. And we know that Holding's 1-versus-1 is not up there with the best, but everything else about his play, he's strong in the air. He deals with the ball quite well. Yes, he loses the ball here and there. I understand that. But he's been good this season. He has been good this season. It's as simple for me as that. Lord Jabberwock, thank you so much for becoming a Wember. A member. Thank you so much. It's the Wok Wember. So thank you so much for becoming a member, mate. Really appreciate the support. If you become an expert member, you can join our Discord server. So make sure you check out all of the additional goodies available to you. Joseph Maseko says Martinelli, Saka, and Willian have the highest ceiling concerning the youngsters here. Victor Edwards says, how many points will we win the league by? Is a very, very good question. We're 9 points off second. Mate, we're closing in. We are closing in on one of our best finishes to a season you have ever seen. Lord Jabberwock, our new member, says, Tom, what do you think of Eibar keeper Marko Dimitrovic? I'll tell you what, Eibar have needed a keeper like Dimitrovic for a long time because they've had some utter stinkers. Riesgo, I remember they used to have in goal, was terrible. He's good, but the thing is, is he going to leave Eibar for Arsenal to be second choice? Would any keeper leave their club to be Arsenal for second choice? Ultimately, I don't know the answer to that question because it's down to the player. But if that's it, then that's it. Sean says, congrats on 20k subs. Have we hit 20k subs? Have we hit 20k subs? I mean, if we've hit 20k subs, we have hit 20k subs! Yes! Thank you ever so much, everyone, for the continued support. There we go. Yannick says, Thomas said he's doing a 20k subs giveaway where he'll be giving away 20 grand for whoever control him the most. I mean, Yannick, if I was going to do that, I wouldn't because you'd get the 20k. So I couldn't do that type of giveaway. But maybe we will do some form of giveaway for hitting 20k. But thank you ever so much for the continued support. It's mad how we just keep going. Noah is a new subscriber. Absolute legend. Appreciate your support, mate. David Keefe says, Tom, I love Emile Smith-Rowe as much as I love your channel. I mean, you didn't say that, but I know that's what you were thinking. Congrats, son. Thank you, Kamal. Much appreciated. Some crazy stuff has happened. Engagement, Christmas, 20,000. I mean, 20,000 stubs or engagement. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Don't tell the missus I said that. It's close. It's close. Cheerios for the 20k. Cheerios for the 20k. 20k, let's go. Ronk says, so, fish. Just that Cover Collect says, 7 chances created by Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe. We have lacked chance creation for so long. So long we have been waiting to try and get more chances into the team. And finally, it's starting to pay off. Let me just check on the old app where we're looking at subs wise, because I haven't actually looked at this for a while. He says, when it's pinned, 20,009 subs. Thank you so much, people. Really appreciate the support. Obviously, I know a lot of you some of you now would have seen me on Hugh's channel and you've joined the TGT crew, which is great. Thank you ever so much for joining, and I hope you enjoy the content. We do daily content every single day with a fantastic live chat, which we talk to all the time. Live chat, tell them. Also, Lacazette may need to get an emoji. But let's get some up the Arsenal emojis going in the chat box, members. Up the Arsenal. Absolutely loving life right now. Ronit says, I am the 20,000th subscriber. I mean, prove it. Prove it. Prove that you are, Ronit. I want to see evidence. Street Beat says, congrats, Tom. This is only the beginning. Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. Garfield says, love the new look, AFC, trust the process. Every time we win, we put out a tweet on Twitter. I'm going to do it right now. If you don't follow us, at the Gooner Talk TV. And we just put the simple old trust the process with a winky face. Because, you know, there's some people out there that have loved us to lose this game. Would have absolutely loved us to lose this game. Because you know what? They're not Arsenal supporters. That's just the situation that it is. And I'm loving every single second of Arsenal's renaissance as we go through the Christmas period. I really hope that football doesn't stop over the next 2 weeks. Really, really hope it doesn't, because I think we're on ultimately a really good kind of bounce of form. If it does stop because they're doing the circuit breaker for the Premier League, in that case, it's great that we've ended that on a win and we can then return after two victories. So fantastic stuff. Kian says, there's no one better than Mikel Arteta. He's the best looking Spaniard we know. Did you know that I've got Spanish descent? And I've just taken offence to that, Kian, because clearly, I mean, look at this giant moon head. Clearly, number one. So Hills says, with Holding, we can have Martinez like cash-in situation in the summer, considering his full... Why do we want to sell players when they get good? Why? Why would you... I don't understand. I understand that you want the club to get money, but if our players come in good, it doesn't mean that you go and sell them. Like, what? Do you want to sell Martinelli now? Do you want to sell Saka now? Do you want to sell Emile Smith-Rowe? No. If the players are coming good, you keep them in the team. You don't sell them. Can you imagine that if you were like the owner of a business and you're going, right, oh yes, I've got this employee that's doing well. He's making really good numbers for us, making us loads of money. You know what? He's doing quite well. I'm going to sell him. I'm going to sell him. Because what happens then? You sell him to another company. That company then gets better because you've sold him a really good employee. And then you're stuck trying to find a replacement for said employee that you've just left. So, what? I don't get it. Why? I don't understand. Oh, dearie me. Matt, oh, thank you, Matt. You really don't need to, but I really appreciate that. Congrats on the engagement and the 20k subs. Thank you ever so much, Matt. Really appreciate that. You're an absolute legend and a very valued member of our members crew. You're as Spanish as Alec Baldwin's what? What does that even mean? I don't understand that joke, Ryan. What even is that? Joseph Maseko says, for things to be officially turned around, I think we need to win 7 out of the next 10, which includes this match and the Chelsea match. So that's 2 on the board now. Joe, where's your head at, mate? 2 wins from 2. First win against Brighton, our last 5 attempts, which the glorious Unai Emery was not able to do in the league anyway. And we're 2 wins from 2 now. Things are looking very, very different. I'm smiling away. I'm a happy boy. Absolutely loving life right now. P. Trim says, what's your thoughts on Marito? My thoughts are he's a great player. And I think that ultimately he's someone that we could have a very good future for in terms of kind of the squad depth. Gabriel's going to take that left centre-back spot. But ultimately... it's just a good player to have in the team. There was a lot of kind of talk. There was a lot of this going on about Pablo Mari when he joined, but he's proven people wrong, which I really appreciate. Daniel Roberts says, top of the form table. I mean, if you look at our last 2 games, top of the form table, guys. Top of the absolute form table. Loving life. Daniel Roberts says, we have a much better form than Spurs do right now, and yet we wanted Mourinho. You can see how much I'm enjoying this. Paul Geyer says, the players came out in second half and actually fought. More forward passes, more risks were taken, and more dribble attempts. We need this consistency to be successful. Now, if we get a little bit grounded, we got a bit excited. I got a little bit excited. We've won 2 games. I'm an Arsenal fan. It's amazing, isn't it? I'm an Arsenal fan that enjoys it when we win. Can you imagine that for a second? Imagine being an Arsenal fan that doesn't enjoy the fact that we win. I mean, I don't want to see people tweeting saying that people don't need to get carried away on the social medias. How about we just enjoy a win for a change? How about we just be a bit, positive? How about we just, support the actual players and the club and the team and get a little bit excited because we're winning games? Why not? Why can't we do that? It's just, I just don't understand, really. What's the mindset? What's the mindset of people? Danny Roberts says, did I enjoy Leno's keepy uppy? What do you think? What do you think I enjoyed Leno's? No, I bloody didn't. He could stop doing that. He could stop doing that. I need to look into that Alec Baldwin thing because that's interesting. That's really interesting. David Keefe says, Tom, hindsight is a wonderful thing, but I think we should have moved him on and got a younger forward like Eduardo. Eduardo? Do you mean Eduard from Celtic, I think, and recuperate the money and bought in a class midfield? Maybe, and I'm not saying that hindsight isn't a wonderful thing. It is, and I think with hindsight we'd say that maybe the contract from Aubameyang, it wasn't the smartest thing in the world. I think with the benefit of hindsight we might even say that Mikel Arteta, was he the right guy to take the club forward considering the position we were in? Maybe he wasn't because he hasn't got the experience to deal with the situation in the club that we're in. But it's the situation that we're in. So we kind of just have to deal with that situation. I'm going to back this coach because he's my club's manager. And I'm just going to keep supporting him until the day that he's no longer at the club, like any supporter should do. You can be criticism. You can throw your criticisms like we have, like I have. Even I've turned around and said that if we keep losing games, you have to change something. You have to do something. But at the same time, you've got to also hold your hands up and say, look, he's turning things around. He's getting the right players in the positions. He didn't change too much. He didn't put Pepe in. He only changed Aubameyang because Lacazette's played a lot of games. And he brought a Lacazette on at the right time for the right substitution. And he scored straight away. So props to Arteta again. And I'm just going to be so sick of people with the agendas that are just not going to give the credit that's due. And yet I'm sitting here when we keep losing games, turning around and going, you know what, maybe I need to hold my hands up and say that we might need a change in manager. It's not about being a flip-flop. It's not about changing your view. You go on based on the evidence that you're given. And if that ultimately means that we're now winning games, then some people are going to have to swallow their pride a little bit, like I have done previously with my views on plenty of different things, and say, you know what, the guy's turning it around and fair play to him. I know it might take a few more games to convince you, and that's fine. And if he starts losing games again, then we'll go back to that argument once more. But if he keeps winning games, I'm hoping that people have the front about them and the actual, like, you know, the front to be able to turn around and go, you know what, fair play. Fair play to the guy. He's turned things around. You know who you are. Sheath King says a January raid for Lamptey and Basuma, maybe with a player exchange. Yes, Sheath King, we need to weaken our rivals. We need to weaken Brighton. That's what we need to do. I like your thinking, son. Street Beats says Lacazette looks like he really wants to play for the club and the manager, so fair play to him. Sibusiso says, I'm proud of the young players grabbing this opportunity. We need to be patient with them and their special talents. John G says they all want to be famous YouTubers. I mean, I don't really get... I do this because I like it. I do this because I think it's fun. I like looking at players and kind of profiling them and analysing them. And ultimately, this has been a springboard to get me into the world of football in terms of a job, which I now do day to day. If you are a content creator and you are ultimately putting opinions out there to be a character or to stand by kind of a rhetoric, then what? I mean, I understand it, and people are very clever. They know exactly what to do. You look at the most successful content creators in the Arsenal world, they know exactly what they're doing. They're very clever. But we've slowly built ourselves up at TGT. We're gradually getting there. 20,000 subs is an amazing sort of thing. And I'm massively appreciative to all of you. But it's never been about that. It's never been about the views. It's never been about any of that. It's been about providing content that I like to create. It's been about making content that's consistent and giving you as much information, education on certain players and giving you the analytics and finding you great guests and finding you journalists to talk to. I'm trying to get a couple more on next month, which should be quite fun. And it's about making a community at the end of the day. Like, I think at TGT, and I have no absolute shame in saying this at all, but easily the best audience. And I go on to different channels. I know other people in the sphere and I integrate with other audiences. But you guys, I wouldn't swap you for that. Would I trade 100,000 subscribers and have a different audience to you guys? No, I wouldn't. Not in any sense or form, because that's not what it's about. It's not what it's about whatsoever. Everything with this channel is about choice. You can come in, you can watch the shows, you can donate, you can become a member. You don't have to do that. I still answer questions from so many people that aren't members all the time because you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. So I hope that you tune in for the show because you like it, you like the content, and you feel valued in our TGT community. So there you go. Kitchen says, you're conversing with the Lord of the Frauds. What else do you want? I mean, he's an absolute legend. I've known Hugh for a long time, so it's good to be on his show. Obviously, we used to do TalkSport together leading up to the Russian World Cup a couple of years ago. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, Hugh's a great lad. Absolutely great lad. It says, oh, stop, Tom. Your passion is making us cry. As much passion as Martinelli has got on the pitch. I'm not crying. You are. Don't sing that song. Don't sing that song. Sahil says, Bellerin stepped up in the second half and against Chelsea hope. And he keeps this being consistent. Bellerin again, 2 good performances. Kian, I see you in the chat, son. You're going to be happy about Bellerin's performances. Smashing stuff. 101,000 subscribers. Maybe. maybe. Tom says, we are pretty damn good indeed. That's the kind of objectivity we tune in for. Absolutely smashed it, mate. Javier says, bring in Pedro Neto as a possible stuff. Oh, Pedro Neto, interesting. Daniel Robert, who, as I say, good thing about the TGT community is you actually get the chance to come on the show like Dan is tomorrow with Toby, hashtag, aka Now Arsenal. They're both going to be on the podcast tomorrow morning. Wednesdays, my shifts writing about football is, whilst it's great, Wednesdays 2 to 11 o'clock shift. It's a tough one, but we graft through it. But it means there's a podcast tomorrow morning, not tomorrow evening. So 10 a.m. tomorrow podcast. Make sure you tune in. We'll be talking to the guys even more. Jacob says, how do you join the community Discord? First of all, Jacob, you have to be an expert or TGT ambassador. That's the first thing you need. Second thing you do, straight after the show, what I'll do is I'll jump into the community tab. Now, the community tab, I can show you what it is because I can show you my screen. So if you are interested in joining our Discord server and possibly getting a chance to come on the show, you should be able to see the channel there. There you can. Now, can you see? You have this on your phone. Of course, this is on my desktop right now. But at the top of your screen, you'll see home, videos, playlists, and then you want to go to this tab, which is community. And that community tab, I'm not going to click on it, obviously, because it will reveal all of the links. But you click on that community tab, and straight after the show, I'll be posting in a link to the Discord where you can then join the Discord and get involved with all of the community and the chat that goes on. If I just click on the Discord now, they're absolute legends. I mean, I'm now in Hugh's Discord as well, so my Discord's going absolutely mental all of the time, all day long. Game time, there's a game time channel where people talk all throughout the game, which most people have been doing, which is great to see. And yeah, it's absolutely great. Franklin Comes has joined as a member. Thank you ever so much, mate, for joining us as a member. Enjoy the content. As I say, as soon as this is finished, I will post a link to the Discord in the community tab on the channel. So make sure you check that out. I did promise the other half that I would only be on for half an hour because we've had barely any time today. So I'm going to wrap things up there. Thank you ever so much for tuning in, guys. 20,000 subscribers after we win 2 games in a row is amazing. And thank you for the donations, Matt and Chris. I really appreciate that. That's really, really kind of you. And yeah, I'm not going to get emotional. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to do that. I didn't even cry when I got down on one knee and proposed. So if I cry at 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to look pretty bad. But yeah, I hope you continue to support the channel. I hope you continue to support the club and the manager and get behind him as much as you can. I'm going to tweet out, or I already have tweeted out, hashtag trust the process. So if you could go over to our Twitter at the Gooner Talk TV, give that a retweet. Just, spread the love, spread the trust the process love. If we can get some trust the process emojis in the chat box, that would be awesome. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to speak to you guys, as it always has done. Now, are we at 200? I said we're changing the Cheerio to 200 likes, and we're not. So, unfortunately, because we're not at our 200 likes yet, and we're not live, I'm going to refresh it in 5 seconds. Let's see how many more likes we can get in 5 seconds. If we can get that, then, I'll hold my hands up and be like, we'll say the words. But I said it's got to change to 200 likes for a live show to get the old word out there. It's changed, Dan. So you're not swindling me like that, mate. Sam Tressida, thank you so much for the super chat, mate. Best Arsenal channel without a doubt. You're an absolute legend, Sam, and I hope that you'll feel a valued member of our TGT community, and I hope I answer as many of your questions I possibly can try to do. We are not bringing trust. Look, just do it to annoy Yannick, members. Get your trust the process into the chat box. Get your trust the process into the chat box, lads. Just do it. Do it for Yannick. That's what we love. That's what we love. Oh, dearie me. Cry at 21,000 subs, says Colonel Troop. Yeah, we could do that. Right, I'm refreshing. If we haven't got, we're going to go up. Oh, we've managed to get, we're like halfway there. No, I'm sorry, but we didn't get the 200. Next show, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. podcast. I know for you Western listeners, it's not going to be very easy to tune in, but I hope you still catch up later on in the day. And of course, we'll then have a show on Thursday where we're going to be looking ahead and talking about stuff and talking about transfers as we reach the famous January transfer window. So absolute legends, all of you, appreciate it. Yannick, oh dearie me. Much love to all of you, not to your mothers, because that's not my channel, that's someone else's, but I really appreciate you coming on and having a laugh with me and a chat, and as always, and most importantly, trust the process and up the Arsenal.